Ariana. Yay, nice. Happy Saturday once again, everybody. Sorry about the little technical glitch there, but it is time to start our Saturday morning practice. This practice really is a way for you to feel empowered through your breath, through your movement, and into your day, into your weekend, and into your week. So I have found a nice blanket to sit on just for a little bit of height underneath the hips. One of the ways to create some effortless posture, an effortless straight spine, is just to bring a little bit of height underneath the sit bones, especially. You can even let the rest of the body be off of the blanket and kind of sit in easy pose. If you'd like, you can stretch your legs out long as well, and just let your eyes drop close and come into a natural breath for a moment, starting to deepen your awareness and deepen the breath at the belly. And then also, before we start, make sure you have some yoga blocks or maybe some sturdy books to be able to make your arms longer for some of our poses, a nice blanket to sit on, and maybe a strap if you're tight in your shoulders today. And then once you find all that, then you'll drop back into your nice slow breath, eyes closed. To what you are grateful for this day. I'm grateful for the beautiful sunshine that we are experiencing, the sound of the birds returning to the area, and just for this brand new opportunity to bring yoga to you in a new way. If you have never been to the studio before, right there on our wall it says there are no strangers here, only friends you haven't yet met. I always get that last part wrong. You haven't yet met. And it really is true here. So we're going to breathe today. After class, we're going to stick around and chat. So feel free just to kind of hang out after class, after Savasana, and we'll have a little chat about what's going on and bring a little bit of community into this new way of teaching, this new way of bringing the studio to you. And with eyes closed and long, tall spine, relax your shoulders. And today's breath technique, very simple, very yoga. We're going to practice Ujjayi breath. I like to say Ujjayi like everyone else, but I like the translation of that, victorious breath. This place where you really bring awareness into how fully you're breathing, this volume, this voluminous breath, another name for Ujjayi breathing, but it really does bring this sense of energy in through the belly, in through the solar plexus, in through the heart, and up into the throat, so that you can walk tall through your day when you start your day off with Ujjayi breath. If you're familiar with it, go ahead and start to drop into it already, noticing how your nostrils are pulling the breath in. If you're newer to yoga or never heard of Ujjayi breathing before, victorious breath, it's through the nose, but it's as though you're whispering. concentrate on the sound of that breath, you can really focus then on bringing the breath in through the belly, the bottom of the ribs, and up into the throat, so that you can really bring this volume in. Nicknames for this breath is ocean breathing or Darth Vader breathing. And if you're practicing but not quite getting the hang of it, my favorite tip for Ujjayi breathing is it's as though you're whispering out of your nose. So if you can't figure out how to whisper out of your nose, whisper out of your mouth and cut it off halfway through. And bring it out of the nose. And just let that noise of the whisper travel in and out of the nostrils. And we're going to sit here for about 2 minutes. Really let that breath become part of our body. Really let that energy of that breath become part of our body. Taking time in the morning or any time that you find your way to the mat, you offer yourself a chance to heal. And the best way to heal is to breathe, is to move, and just to notice how you feel. Gratitude in the heart just for the simplicity of breathing this morning. Another minute, just drop in. Three more. Yourself come back to a more normal breath pattern for you. Try to stay aware of the fullness of your breath here. And right away, let's stretch on over into downward facing dog for a moment and bring some movement into those legs that have been sitting for us for a few moments. And you can keep that Ujjayi breath going. It's not just a 3-minute or 2-minute breath exercise. It is a way to bring energy into the body anytime throughout the day. So 5 breaths here or there can really start to change how you are feeling. So as you move into downward dog, remember anytime you can bring knees to the earth if shoulders aren't quite ready to hold half of your weight here, and pedal around, bend into one knee, then the other, stretch into the knees, into the shoulders. And maybe take a few open mouth exhales and find some stillness now in dog pose. Find a little grounding. Really press the ground away, thumb and first finger pressing toward each other as you just create this steadiness in the arms, ears in line with the shoulder, or with the biceps. Come on down to your knees. And back on down to sit, and you can have your blanket under you if you'd like for some padding, but it's not really necessary here. And we're going to come into a lifted pose here where you can balance on the sit bones, and feet are going to come out, and you're going to turn the toes out just a little bit. So today's class focusing in onto hips. We're going to start off with some mobility, and we're going to heat them up with some sun salutations, some variations there. And we're going to melt into some lovely, juicy variations of pigeon pose. So let's start off with that mobility factor. You can stay lifted onto those sit bones and start to engage the core if you'd like. A little bit of comfort if you bring the hands back, maybe to fingertips, maybe to the palms. And the feet are going to stay nice and wide. And we're going to start to move into our hips, just simply twisting over, and then come back through center. And try to bring that outside knee down, maybe even letting that hip come up. And let's do that a few more times. If you start to slide forward on your mat, just readjust as you need to. Feet pressing in, hands pressing in. And again, that variation, if you'd like, you can just bring the arms up and find a little bit of balance here. Slow, easy breathing. And let's drop those knees over to the left side. Walk your hands down to the earth. And move here side to side. Notice that left leg is in a pigeon position. Feel the stretch. Come back through center, lifting up through the torso. Feet come through center, blocks out of your way, knees down, and walk the hands over to the right now. Just move a little bit into those hips. Find some mobility. And if you find as you go along in this class that it's a bit too intense for you, join us again at 9:30, and it'll be a less intense version of this class. Come up through center. Press your feet together. Hands come to the ankles, and move here gently side to side in bound angle pose, or more spring-like butterfly pose. It does kind of, I like that analogy that we're all kind of cocooning in right now, and in a couple of weeks we'll emerge just amazing versions of ourselves. Rock forward and back here. Feel the movement through the sit bones. Hold the spine nice and tall. Even start to engage into the core. Lifted up, that right leg, lean over to the left, send the right leg back behind you, and walk yourself front and center again for pigeon. If the hip doesn't come down comfortably, you might look more like this. That's okay. Just find a little bit of movement into a not recline, not forward fold pigeon, just that uplifted version of it. Roll back down, come through center. Left leg rolls back. Just kind of walk your way up. You can lift up through that right hip as you find some movement. Don't forget, open mouth exhales help you to release stress and stagnancy and worry and cabin fever. Press back into that right hip. Come forward again, bring the feet down. Bring your hands back behind you. Fingers press away, roll those shoulder blades together. Feet and ankles knee distance and knees are hip distance. And maybe step the feet forward just a little bit. Little bend into your elbows. Lift up into the chest and then lift up into the hips. Take a breath here in a reverse tabletop and move gently side or front and back. Feel that stretch through the wrists, the shoulders, and the ball mounts and bottoms of your feet. Hips come down. Let's come on up and over into downward facing dog. Move into the feet, move into the hips. And knees come down to the earth. Comfort here is first and foremost into your arms and shoulders. If wrists are trouble for you today, we're going to be in our tabletop position here for a moment. So if wrists are trouble for you today, you can bring blocks in. If you don't have blocks, you don't need them. You can come down to forearms, or you can get rid of the bend in your wrists by bringing knuckles down to the earth. Staying aware of how you're stacking up through your shoulders. If you do have blocks, you'll just bring forearms down to the blocks. But if wrists are okay for you today, let's keep palms on the ground, spreading out through the fingers. Look back at your knees, make them a little wider than the hips. Press the tops of the feet into the earth, lengthen out through the tailbone, lengthen out through the crown of the head. And let's take 5 breaths, Ujjayi breathing, victorious breath. Inhale, belly opens, heart opens. Feel the hands pressing in. Exhale slowly and smoothly. Belly button presses toward the spine as you really get rid of the air. Listen to the breath. 4 more. Right arm will bend, bring the forearm down to the earth, palm presses in. You're going to shift the weight just a little bit into that right knee, and left knee is going to come up and go into big circles toward, or up and back, going up and back with that knee, keeping it bent. Flexing through the heel and just noticing here your range of motion. Check in with your shoulders, check in with your breathing. 2 more. Going through mobility and range of motion, just starting a little bit of heat in the joint. Come back to center and up and around the other way. Noticing again where you feel the stretch. For example, surprising fact, my right hip just popped instead of my left. So just notice what's happening with your body. Check in with your shoulders again. 1 more. Knee down. Rest back. Child's pose. Get off the arms. Maybe even stretch them back behind you. Take a breath. Let it out. And start to come back up into tabletop position. knees back under those hips, left elbow comes down. Everything stays in line. You want to stay nice and stacked up in those joints. Right arm becomes your support. Shift the weight slightly to the left and start to go into that range of motion. Kicking up and back. Notice how you're breathing. Notice those shoulders. Stay completely aware. And start to go the other way. Such a nice way to say good morning to your hips. Knees back down. Stretch it back. Relax the wrists, the shoulders, child's pose. And let's take 5 Ujjayi breaths here. Really feel that belly expand toward the thighs. The breath we take right now really energizing us for later. And there's really something so calming to the nervous system to be able to hear the sound of the breathing. 2 more. Stretch the arms forward if they're not already. Come on up through tabletop. Come on up through plank pose. And lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Pedal into the feet and get a stretch into those toes, coming up to tiptoes, flexing heels down. Always aware of those shoulders. You don't want to dump weight into the shoulders. The arms active. Bend your knees, step forward. Find a gentle ragdoll, feet hip distance. Knees bent comfortably and arms can dangle down, or you can hold opposite elbows. And 5 Ujjayi breaths here, upside down. Really invigorate yourself here. Squeeze the exhales out, feel that belly press toward the spine. Two more. Inhale, half lift, hands to your shins. Exhale, fold in, legs stay a little straighter this time. Press through the feet, reach through the arms, all the way up. Hands to your heart, thumbs to the sternum, Tadasana pose. Take a breath here. Very happy Saturday, everybody. Let's step forward to the top of our mats. And hands at your heart. Toes come together. Feet pressing in, relax down through the shoulders. You can drop your eyes closed, or if they're open, you're looking impassively forward, either down at the earth or at a wall. Yoga. The irony of yoga, the word yoga meaning union or to join. And really what you're trying to do is find union with yourself, to join your awareness of your breath, your body, your thoughts, your heart. And that's what we find here, especially in a stronger, well, not even especially in a stronger class, but in a class, any class where you connect your movement with your breath. So as we move here through sun salutations, and we'll have variations focusing here and now on bringing heat into our hips. So expect a chair and a warrior and all of the fun things. But as we do that, use that Ujjayi breath, use that powerful inhale and that powerful exhale to keep you grounded, to keep you fueled as you move here. So feet come together, drop your arms down to your sides, roll your palms toward me, shoulders relax down. Take a breath, inhaling into the belly, exhaling. Inhale, arms reach up, hips sit down, chair pose. Exhale, let's stay here, eyes at the earth, length in the back of the neck. Chair pose, you want to make sure that you're sitting back and down, shifting the weight toward the heels and not leaning forward into those toes. And take another breath. Inhale here. Exhale, fold in. Half lift, inhale. And exhale, listen to the breath. Feet press in, arms reach up, stretch. Hands to your heart, Tadasana pose. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, fold from the hips, long spine, long legs. Lift your heart and fold. Feet press, circle from the hips, reach the arms up. Hands to your heart, and grateful for this day. Press down, reach up. Exhale, fold in, get rid of your stagnancy. Inhale, half lift, wake up the heart. Exhale, fold it in. Press through your feet, reach through the arms, stretch it up. And hands to your heart. Arms reach, inhale. Hips sit, exhale. Chair pose, 5 breaths. Really concentrate here on Ujjayi breathing. If you're practicing Ujjayi breath, sometimes when we start to move, it becomes harder to hold on to it. So here in these stiller poses where we're really starting to build heat, you might notice that breath starts to come a little quicker. Sit back and down just a little more. 1 more breath. Next, exhale. Fold in, legs straighten, dive forward. Half lift, inhale. Bend the knees so the fingertips hit the earth. Step that left foot back. Find a really long runner's stretch. If you find that you round and curl into the shoulders, just press into those feet a little bit. Lift up into the heart. Fingertips just resting at the ground. Take a breath here. And left knee to the earth. Find a low lunge. Keep the left toes pressing under. And then bring the hands up to that right thigh. Lift the heart. Really voluminous in the breath. Take another round. Lift the heart even more. Exhale, hands plant, step back, plank pose. Try to keep the hips level. Inhale, plank. Elbows bend, shift the weight forward. Knees come down. Hips stay up. Chest and chin come down. Elbows hugging in. And then inhale, hips press down. Heart lifts up. And exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Ujjayi breath if you'd like. If you're learning yoga here in the comfort of your own home, this is a nice place to drop to a child's pose or a tabletop if shoulders are feeling fatigued. Always go at your pace. One more breath. As you inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step up, forward fold. Heart lifts, hands to the shins. And exhale, fold in. All the way up, press through the feet, reach through the arms, stretch. Hands to the heart, Tadasana pose. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hips sit. If shoulders are tired here, you can bring arms out or bring hands to prayer. Eyes quiet, feet pressing in. You can even lift up into those toes to make sure that you're shifting that weight back as though you're about to sit back and down into an invisible chair. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Heart lifts, inhale. Right foot steps back, find a really long runner stretch. Left knee and ankle stay in line with each other. Fingertips can come to the earth. If you have yoga blocks and use them, feel free to do so now. Lift through the heart, lengthen through the spine, flex back through that right heel. And right knee to the earth, keep the toes tucked. And then bring your hands up to the thigh, flexing forward into the knee, lifting up through the heart. Slow breathing. Where are you feeling this? In that left hip or in the right thigh? One more breath. Frame the foot, step back, plank pose. Inhale, shift the weight forward, little bend to the elbows already. Knees come down, hips stay up, chest and chin come down. Inhale, press the hips, lift the heart, cobra pose. 5 breaths, downward facing dog. Listen to the inhale and the exhale. Lift your heart. Fold it in. Press through the feet, reach through the arms all the way up. Hands to your heart, Savasana pose. Take a breath. Let it out. Inhale, sit back, reach up, chair pose. Exhale, fold in. Lift your heart. Left foot steps back. Find a runner stretch. And then a low lunge. Keep those toes tucked. Variations. Fingers can stay on the earth as you look forward. Fingers can come to the thigh as you lift up. If it's okay for you, arms will come up. Gratitude. Arms, elbows out from the shoulders. Lift up through the heart, through the eyes. Open the throat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, frame the foot. Lift up through that left knee. And maybe shorten your stance just a little bit. Left hand stays pressing in. Maybe you need a block underneath. Right arm reaches up. Runner stretch with a twist, pressing the chest toward the thigh. 3 breaths here. Ujjayi breath if you're still practicing that. And that right arm can also, or right fingers can come to the back of the head as you open up that heart. Inhale. And exhale. Frame the foot. Bring that right heel, that left heel down so that your heel to arch alignment. And this left arm is going to cartwheel you up. Warrior 2. Hips forward, arms out. And 5 breaths here. Make sure hips are equal and level, looking out over the right front fingers. Two more. If you're feeling strong, bring those feet a little further apart. Deepen your lunge. Right elbow starts to come to right knee. Stay lifted here in a part side angle pose, part bent knee triangle pose. If this feels awesome for your hips, you'll stay here. Otherwise, right arm, right fingertips can come to the earth, pressing that right knee open, and then left arm will reach up and over, bringing yourself into a side angle pose, extended side angle pose. Feeling yourself breathe into that left side body. Feeling that right hip open for you. Press into the feet. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel down, frame the foot, step back, plank pose. Inhale here. Shift the weight forward, knees down, chest and chin down. Inhale, lift the heart, tops of the feet to the earth. And 5 breaths, downward facing dog. Feel the difference here in your legs, particularly in the hip joint itself. And you can twist here slightly into the hips, lifting one sit bone then the other. Still concentrating on that breath. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step up, find your fold. half lift, heart lifts. Exhale, fold. We're going to swoop up into our chair pose. Hips sit back and down, arms reach up. Exhale. Tadasana pose, hands to your heart. Take a breath. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, right foot steps back. Find first that runner's stretch, nice and tall. Fingertips to the earth. Right heel flexing down. Left ankle and knee in line with each other. If you get stuck somewhere around here, just shift around. You can even use that hand to help the foot into that alignment. And then stay here with the fingertips. As you bring the knee down, keep that the right toes flexed, and lift up first to your knee, lifting to your heart opener. Stay here, or arms will reach up. Finding gratitude, arms lifting up into the heart. Feel that stretch across your sternum. Feel the stretch across the palms of your hands. Breathing deeply here, the sound of your breath, so reassuring for that nervous system. One more. Hands come down, frame the foot, and then that right foot is going to drop back into heel to arch alignment. Right toes going out about 2 o'clock. Left toes nice, and 12 o'clock, right arm's going to cartwheel you up. Heel to arch alignment, reach the arms out, hips level and parallel. Both feet working for you, pressing in, lifting up, looking out over those left front fingers. Breathe deeply here. Left arm, start to come down, pressing the left thigh open. Just bring the right arm straight up for now. So we're halfway between extended side angle and a bent leg triangle pose. Feet pressing equally, and feel that right foot really working for you. If you're comfortable here, stay here. If you'd like, left fingertips to the earth, and right hand is going to extend up and over. Really breathe into the right side body here. Feel the stretch in your left hip, your left thigh. Inhale, come on up, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel down, frame the foot, step back, plank pose. Inhale, plank, knees come down, hips stay up, chest and chin down. Lift the heart. Press back. We're going to take a child's pose. I want you to take a really wide-kneed child's pose so big toes can come to touch. Walk those knees out as wide as they'll go, maybe even off of the mat. Then you can come down to forearms, or maybe even stretch forward. And 5 breaths here, opening up into the front of the hips. Really allow a sense of anchoring to come in to the center of your body, the hips settling in toward the earth. 2, come on. Knees come together. Stretch forward to your plank pose. Stretch out through those fingers. Stretch back through the toes. Inhale. Your knees come down. Elbows hug in. Chest and chin. Lift your heart. Hips down. Toes down. Heart up. Downward facing dog. Big toes come to touch. Left foot reaches up, up, up. Really extend into the arms. Here, create length in a 3-legged dog. Keep your hips square for now. Really flex down through the right heel. Lift up through the left heel. And the knee bends, hip opens. Stretch the left knee up toward the ceiling. Press the arms away. Really engage into the arms here. You don't want to dump the weight into the shoulders. Take another breath. Square the hips. Toes come down. Right foot goes up, up, up. Press into those hands. Flex into the heel. Hips are square. Just enjoy this feeling of being upside down. Breathe deeply into your body. Arms stay actively pressing in. Bend into the right knee. Open into the hip. Press the knee up. Arms strong and breathe. Square the hips, toes together. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step up, find a fold. Relax those arms and hold on to a ragdoll for a few breaths, or even actively roll into those wrists. Feel free to bend the knees if you'd like. Let's find a half lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Press through the feet, reach for the arms all the way. Hands to your heart, thumbs to the chest. And hands come down to your sides, roll into the wrists again and into those ankles. And step forward to the top of your mat if you're not already there. Finding Tadasana pose, toes come to touch. Feet press in, crown of the head reaches up. Roll your palms toward me. Just take a moment here with your breath, with the steadiness, feeling the strength in your heart, in your core, in your legs. Inhale, arms reach, hips sit. And bring your hands to your heart for this one. We're going to come into arms to cross, flexing through the heels. Sit back and down a little more. Eyes quiet. Find your balance. chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, stretch. Exhale, fold in nice and slow. Lift your heart. Fingers graze the ground, step that left foot back, runners stretch. Left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up, find your runner stretch with a twist. Open up. Left toes come in just a little bit. We're going to lift up in our twist. As you inhale, press into those feet. Come on up, arms reach out away from each other now. Really activate into the legs. Legs are scissoring together, twisting you into your hips. Arms are reaching out away from each other. Inhale. And exhale. Left hand down. Right arm down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out. 2 breaths. As you inhale, bend into the knees, look forward. Exhale, step up, find a fold. Heart lifts and fold. All the way up, press through the feet, reach through the arms. Hands to your heart, thumbs to the sternum. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, arms reach, hips sit. Exhale, fold in. Right foot reaches back, fingertips stay to the earth. And right fingers to the earth, left arm reaches up, find your runner stretch with a twist. Hand flat to the earth. Or up on that block for openness. Really try to open here through the heart. Those legs already scissoring together. Once you have that scissoring together feeling, you can feel that activation through the legs. Feet pressing down. You can step the back toes in a little bit. You'll already feel from here whether or not you have that leverage to pull up. If you don't, just bring those toes in a little bit, and as you inhale, come on up to your lifted twist. Squeeze those legs together, reach the arms out, and really just open here. Feel the heat, bringing yourself out. One more. Inhale. Right hand down. Left hand down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, knees. Or come forward to a plank pose. Inhale here. And now knees. And then chest and chin. Lift your heart. Child's pose, 5 breaths. Connect to that Ujjayi breathing. pigeon pose, and then we're going to melt into it. A little bit of padding under the hips for this is nice, or if you have a little bit of height between the hip and the floor in your resting pigeon pose, you can keep that blanket handy for just for your comfort. And blocks handy too if you're using them for longer arms. And let's come on up into downward facing dog. Bring your toes to touch. Hands are actively pressing away from the ground. Ears in line with the elbows. And left leg is going to reach up. Lift up into the right heel as well. Really come up to the right tiptoes. Inhale here. Open the legs as much as you can. And as you exhale, start to bring yourself into your left-sided pigeon pose. That left leg comes up, heel and knee stay somewhere in line with each other. That right leg peeling back. Bring the foot down to the earth. You can bring the blanket under your hip here if you'd like. Hands pressing in. Come up to your fingertips here. Lift up into your heart. Take a breath. Hands are going to flatten to the earth. Legs stay in your pigeon pose, but let's do some push-ups, because why not? Palms pressing in. Inhale, lift up through the heart. As you exhale, bow forward, bringing a little push-up into the body. Inhale as the arms engage, lift up through the heart, and exhale, fold forward, melt forward. Inhale, 3 more. And exhale, fold forward. Adjust your hips anytime you need to. Try to keep those elbows hugging in as much as you can. 1 more. And fold forward. We're going to take 5 more little pigeon push-ups here, but we're going to make it more of a sit-up. If you're comfortable here, if this is enough of a challenge for you here, you'll do 5 more right here. Cheering for yourself as you go. If it's okay for you, arms are going to reach back. If it's okay for you, you can find your strap using the arms to help lift you up. And if it's okay, you're going to interlace those fingers behind your back, knuckles reaching away from you. Inhale, lift up. Even if hands are on the earth, that's okay. Exhale, fold in. Figure out the leverage, having fun with it. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, fold in. 3 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, feel that hip open for you. Inhale, 2 more. Try to talk through them. Exhale, fold in. Last one. Fold in. Arms come forward. Melt down. And then come on up, because we have the other side to do. And then I promise we'll melt into a delicious, well-earned pigeon pose. Hands press in. Toes come to touch. Feel the difference in your right and left outer hips. And let's equal it off. As you inhale, that right foot reaches up, up, up. Come up into the left tiptoes. Give yourself those couple extra inches of height. Reach the legs away, and then that right knee starts to come through, flexing through the heel, bringing your hips down. You can pad up with your blanket or pad up with your blocks if you'd like. Shimmy yourself into place, that left leg nice and long. Make sure you are on your mat so that when you press down with your push-ups, you have that cushion. And hands forward, lift up into your heart, palms to the earth. Inhale, lengthen from tailbone through the throat. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, fold forward. 2 more. You feel how you have to press into the hips, the sides of the legs, even into that extended left knee or left leg to help you find that leverage. Lift on tall here, and remember, if hands down option is enough for you, this is where you stay. If it's okay for you, press down into the foundation of your legs. Reach those arms back. Palms can press toward each other. You can grab that belt, or you can interlace fingers the opposite way now, really using the strength of the arms, the oomph of the arms to help lift you up. Inhale. And exhale. Fold it in. Inhale. Remember, you can bring arms to the ground anytime you need to. Exhale. Fold it in. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. Hands release to the earth, fold forward, and then lift on up, press back. Move in your dog pose. Release that work. Knees down, toes together. Sit back, child's pose. Come and melt into our pigeon pose now as promised. A forward fold pigeon. If you've had enough of that today, please come down onto your back and just find your reclined pigeon there. If it is okay for you though, let's come on up. Hands press in, find your tabletop position. Toes touch, left leg lifts up, come up to your right tiptoes. And swoop that left leg forward, flexing it through the heel. And remember, you can bring that blanket under the hip or a pillow under your hip, even as thick as you can get it, flexing it through the heel. Hands are down, right leg flexing back, and as you'd like, you can fold forward now to the forearms, or maybe even a little deeper. We'll come back to an Ujjayi breath. And concentrate here on those exhales, helping your hip to relax. Important to remember when we come up through here, our destination is downward dog, so you want those arms to be really engaged as you press the palms in, spreading out. Shift here side to side for a moment. And tuck the right toes under, start to shift the weight back and up, and find any variation of dog pose that feels nice to you, just allowing that left hip to come back into place. Toes together. inches up. Come to the left tiptoes and swoop that right leg through, flexing through the heel. Hands are supporting you here. If you need that blanket under the right hip, just find that comfort for yourself. Right heel flexing through, left leg flexing back. And then as you're ready, you'll fold forward, nice and slow. Using that Ujjayi breath here to really bring that connection, that volume of your own breathing to your ears. And the rest of the world fall away here in this forward fold, eyes closed, sound of your breathing soothing and calming as that right hip opens. Release tension. And you move yourself back up. Hands come into place, arms steady. Move around here gently. And then as you're ready, shift up and back to your dog pose, releasing that right hip. Knees come down. We'll come on down to our backs. If you like a little bit of comfort for your Savasana, which is where we're heading, you can put your socks back on or your sweatshirt back on. And we'll come down to hug knees to our chest. Just roll here gently side to side. Feet come down. Arms out to a T shape. Palms pressing down. Right ankle will come to your pigeon stretch. So I'll turn it this way here, right ankle to your pigeon stretch. And then slowly drop that right leg down, or the legs down and over, coming into a twist. If this is too intense, you'll get rid of the pigeon and just come into the twist, bringing knees together instead. Otherwise, if it is okay, that ankle stays flexed. Turn and look over the right shoulder. Two breaths here. This lovely twist for the spine. Releasing the hips. Face comes center. Legs come center. Unwind. And then second side, left ankle crosses at the right thigh. Slowly flex over to your twist. Remember just to get rid of that pigeon position if it's too much for you. And then turn and look over the left shoulder. 3 slow breaths. Center. Unwind the legs and the arms to your sides. And just lift up through those hips, give yourself a little wiggle. And then we'll stretch out for Shavasana. You can cover up here if you'd like. Rest the shoulders back and down, arms at your sides, palms facing up, legs outstretched. Let your eyes close and feel the sense that you're sinking into the mat, into the earth, really allowing these last few moments of reset, of pause. And just allow yourself to drop in here for a few moments. Slow, open mouth exhale, feeling the body sink in once more. Start to move into fingers and toes, move into arms and legs, just waking the body back up. Hug your knees to your chest and turn over to your right side. Take a breath there as well. And maybe one more. into a seated position. Hands at your heart, spine nice and long, eyes closed, connecting again to gratitude. Connecting to this unknown possibility that we're facing here, this chance to cocoon and then bloom. Let's end class with the sound of 3 ohms, really imagining that our voices are sending love out into the world where it's needed. Slow inhale. Thank you for taking the time to take care of yourselves today.
Namaste.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We are continually working on bringing you more and more online offerings, including good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Mary. I hope you enjoyed your class. Yeah, Amanda, you're awesome too. I see what you're doing over there with your kickboxing and your punching bags. Amanda was going to trade punching bag for toilet paper. So, you know, that's the world that we're living in right now. But we're going to start Zoom calls, which is kind of live, face-to-face, interactive calls. Here comes Jason around the corner. He will be joining me for community class. It is beyond weird to be here without you guys. But we're here and we're holding space and we're sending love and we'll continue to be here until this is over. So stay tuned for more of what we're bringing, the Zoom calls, the face-to-face. We're going to start showing up early for class so that you guys can all kind of chat together too. And then if you want, because there's nothing else to do this Saturday, we can't leave the house, come back at 9:30 for community class. It'll be more hips and more fun. All right. Love you guys. See you soon.
See you later.
I should have said, do you want to say anything? And maybe you should, because now it's broken. Ah, yay.